Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Screenstars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2024 action thriller No Way Up. The film is directed by Claudio Farr and it stars Colm Meaney, Will Attenborough, Jeremias Amor, Sophie McIntosh, and Phyllis Logan. Now, the film focuses on a group of passengers who are getting on a plane. There is a senator's daughter and her friends going on holiday. There is Colm Meaney, who is her bodyguard. There is a grandma and grandfather taking their granddaughter, to visit them. A few others, sort of thing. And whilst in the air, the aircraft suffers a catastrophic failure and crashes into the sea, quite spectacularly. The majority of the passengers are killed during this process, and there is only a handful left. And they are kind of left, they've sunk to the bottom, if you like, and they are kind of balancing on a ledge. And the only air they've got left is kind of like an air pocket kind of thing. And the water's getting higher and higher. Things couldn't get worse. However they do, they are then attacked by savage sharks. And they've got to figure out a way to get to the surface safely before they get munched by these vicious sharks. Right, what are my thoughts on No Way Up? Well, it's easy to go into a film like this, a shark film, with a little bit of trepidation because shark movies, especially low-budget shark movies, are a dime a dozen. I mean, you get a lot of them every single year, and I review a lot on this channel. I know Leo over at Geek Legion of Doom probably reviews more. And there's too many of them, and there's very few of them. Probably out of the last 20 I've reviewed on this channel, there might have been one or two that I'd recommend. Most of them are pretty poor. I went into this film kind of expecting to dislike it, if you like. And I'm not going to lie, I was pleasantly surprised by this film. Now, while this film is low budget, it's not no budget. There is definitely a budget here, and they've really made this budget stretch out. They've got a couple of faces in here, like Colm Meaney, who you'll recognise from, he's literally been in everything for the last 30 years, hasn't he? And Phyllis Logan, who you may recognise from Downton Abbey. And it adds a little bit of, gravitas to the film. The performances, really, from everybody here are of a strong standard. There's even a little girl played by Grace Nettle, and she does fine as well in the film. And the film smartly, I think this is what I like about a film that has got a limited budget, if you like. Sometimes you'll see a film with budget similar to this, and they just kind of blow it on silly complex plots and dull characters and whatever. This one kind of knows its strengths and weaknesses, and it kind of goes with it. And it really does a good thing here in that it gives us time to get to know these characters here in this film. Now, it also smartly only focuses on a handful of them. The rest of them are killed in the plane crash. And I just have to say as well, the plane crash sequence is pretty horrifying. It's done really, really well for a budget of this sort. Very, very well done. It's properly scary here and there. People getting sucked out of the plane, and basically the majority of the passengers die, and there's only a handful left. So that gives the film time for us to get to know these characters, and that has a much bigger impact when things start going wrong, when they start getting attacked by the sharks, when inevitably characters die. You feel it. And I don't mind saying there was a scene near the end involving a character that I'd kind of got a little bit attached to. A death scene, and I felt myself getting a bit emotional about it. Now, to me, any film that can do that, regardless of the budget, has done its job. The writing's decent, and the writing is good. And that's, for me, the crux of a good film. And this film has it, you know what I mean? It has a few cringe moments, as well as one character in particular that kind of keeps dropping smart remarks here and there, and While obviously people like this exist, I'm not so sure some of the remarks you'd be making in the situations that we're in. So it's not perfect or anything like that. And it does kind of get a little bit predictable and all that kind of stuff. But at the same time, as well, I think the shark stuff here is done very well. You see them when you need to see them, and when you see them, they're vicious. You know what I mean? There's no messing about here. There's no dodgy CGI or anything that I could tell. You know, you'll see body parts floating around here and there. You know, you see them. The attacks are savage. And a lot of the attacks are people that you become attached to. So it does it well. It does its job well, I think, in my opinion. It does get a little bit melodramatic in places. You know, some of the dramatic bits in between, I think, gets a little bit overly melodramatic. An issue I kind of had with the film as well is, you know, this plane has crashed in the sea. The sea would be absolutely freezing beyond belief, and they're going in and out of this water like it's a jacuzzi. I mean, they'd literally be shaking. You know, the teeth would be shaking out. Let's be honest, it'd be that freezing, and it never really addresses it very well. This film. So yeah, it's also a film where you know you've got the premise of where they can't just sit and do nothing and wait to be rescued because there's something that happens in the film that doesn't go particularly well. But also, number one, they're running out of air, and number two, the plane is slowly sinking further and further. So they have to kind of act. They've got to do something to get themselves out of this situation. So there's also that going on as well. You know, the fact that they can't just sit there, because sometimes you'll watch a film like that and you just kind of think, well, just stay where you are. You know, you don't need to do anything. Just sit still, stay where you are, and don't do anything. Well, they can't do that in this film. So I don't mind saying this was a real pleasant surprise for me. Don't get me wrong, this is not going to be probably on many people's top 10 lists of the year or anything. But when you compare this to the amount of shark films that I have seen and reviewed on this channel, and most of them being really quite poor, this one is memorable. I would probably say I would watch this one again because I think it was, you know, pretty well made, nicely effective at times, decent budget, and other than some, fairly obvious failings when you're watching it, you know, it kept me fully immersed throughout while I was watching it too. So yeah, I do actually recommend this one for you guys out there that like a good shark film. I certainly thought there were some strong moments in it. So thanks for watching, guys. I will, of course, be back with plenty more reviews and content on the channel very, very soon.